What do you do when you realize, too late, that you chose the wrong side? Adam Levine knows. Because somewhere between the laughter and the silence, he lost someone who felt like family. Like Shelton, the voice, a friendship the world trusted. Gone. But this isn't about a fight. It's about something quieter, something more painful. A message sent at 4 in the morning that said everything and got nothing back. People don't talk about this kind of loss, the kind where nobody's the villain but everyone's broken. The signs were there, but when emotion's louder than truth, people believe what feels real, not what is real. And now, the silence speaks louder than anything they ever said. This is what really happened between Adam and Blake. And it's gonna hurt. There's a reason those old clips still circulate on TikTok. Why people scroll through them late at night when they can't sleep. Why comments say stuff like, "This era felt safe," and "I want to go back to when this felt real." Because it reminded people of their own friendships. The kind that feels unbreakable. The kind you assume will always be there, until one day it's not. And that's why what happened next still stings so bad. Fast forward to 2023. Different energy entirely. Adam's been off the show for years. Blake's still there, but everything feels off. After some awards ceremony, when the noise dies down and adrenaline fades, something quiet pops up on Adam's Instagram. No big announcement, no long caption. Just an old clip from maybe season 4 or 5. 2 younger versions laughing over nothing. And a caption so short it feels unfinished. At first glance, it looks like nostalgia. But if you've ever posted about someone you're not talking to anymore, you know the difference. Nostalgia smiles. This didn't. This felt heavy. Regret doesn't shout, it whispers. And fans felt it immediately. Screenshots spread across Twitter in minutes. Comments piled up by the thousands. Because the timing mattered. The silence around it mattered more, and it didn't feel like celebrating the good old days. It felt like mourning something already dead. But here's where it gets darker. That same night, according to people close to the situation, something else happened. Something private. A DM sent when the world had gone quiet. 4 a.m., kind of quiet. The kind of hour where honesty sneaks out because there's nothing left to distract you. It wasn't angry. Wasn't trying to start a fight. Just tired. Emotional. Reflective in a way only exhaustion and regret can make you. Because of the acts, wasn't assigning blame. It read more like a confession. A message that said, in so many words, "I don't recognize who you are anymore." And that's what cuts deepest. Because that sentence doesn't come from hate, it comes from loss. From grief over someone who's still alive but feels gone. Imagine sitting there at 4 in the morning writing to someone who once felt like family and realizing halfway through you're not even sure who they are now. Or worse, realizing you might be completely wrong but feeling too far gone to fix it. That message wasn't about ending anything. It was about admitting something already felt broken. So how'd 2 people who were that close get here? Fans who followed every detail believe it didn't happen all at once. It never does. Friendships don't shatter in one moment. They crack slowly. In conversations behind closed doors, in stories told with tears streaming down. In moments where emotion feels way more convincing than facts. Over time, Adam had been hearing things. Emotional versions of events, narratives shaped by hurt, by frustration, by changes that didn't feel fair. And here's the thing about human nature. When someone you care about is crying while telling their truth, it sticks. Tears are persuasive in ways logic never is. Pain sounds honest, even when the story's incomplete. Especially when you're not there to hear the other side. That's where the shift started. Not with betrayal, with perspective. Or what felt like perspective at the time. According to fans piecing this together from interviews and social media breadcrumbs, there were attempts at balance. Quiet reminders of who Blake had always been. Before the noise. Before the tension. Kelly Clarkson, people say, tried to be that voice of reason. Not dramatic, not emotional. Just steady. Calm. The kind of truth that doesn't perform well when everyone's feelings are raw.
I guess nobody taught you.
But calm rarely wins when emotions are running hot. Pain is louder. It demands attention, and when you're forced to choose which voice to believe, the one shaking with emotion can feel more real than the one staying steady. So Adam sent the message, and here's the detail fans absolutely cannot stop thinking about. The ones keeping them up at night. It was opened. Seen at 4:47 a.m. and never answered. No argument, no explosion. No dramatic falling out, just silence. The kind that echoes in your chest, the kind that doesn't give you closure, only questions that multiply. Because silence isn't rejection, it's absence. And Absence leaves space for regret to grow until it takes over everything. Imagine watching that message just sit there. Read. Unanswered. Hours turning into days, days into weeks. Every moment making it harder to follow up, harder to fix what's breaking, because now the silence has weight. Now it means something. That's how friendships end sometimes. Not with a door slammed, but with one left slightly open until everyone forgets who was supposed to walk through first. And fans feel this deeply because they've lived it. Choosing a side without realizing it. Believing one story without asking enough questions. Letting time do the breaking so they don't have to face it themselves.
We were never meant for two or die.
That old clip still plays on loop. Two friends laughing like nothing could touch them. And maybe that's why it hurts to watch now. Because you know how it ends. Or worse. You don't know, and that's its own torture. What makes this hit so deep isn't the fame or headlines. It's how painfully ordinary it is. Strip away the stages and spotlights, and it becomes something you recognize from your own life. Two people growing in different directions, other voices getting louder, stories overlapping until the original truth gets lost. Nobody wakes up planning to lose someone they love. It happens while you're busy surviving something else entirely. Think about the timing. 4 a.m. messages are never casual. They're the kind you write after replaying conversations for hours. After asking yourself if you're being fair, after wondering if you waited too long. That message wasn't about choosing a side. It was about feeling like a side had already been chosen for him. That's what fans sense in that Instagram post. The complete absence of anger, no blame. Regret doesn't demand answers like anger does. It just wonders quietly if it deserved one. There's something haunting about realizing too late you might have believed the wrong version. That you let emotion guide your judgment because it felt urgent, because it felt human. And by the time you slow down enough to question it, the bridge already feels too shaky to cross. People keep asking why Blake never replied. Maybe there's 1,000 reasons. Maybe he didn't know what to say that wouldn't make things worse. Maybe silence felt safer than saying the wrong thing and destroying what little was left. Maybe opening that message hurt more than ignoring it. Silence can be a shield, or a wound, sometimes both at the same time.
It was only December.
What fans latch onto is the lack of closure. Because closure's a gift we don't appreciate until it's withheld. And when it's taken away, your mind fills the gaps with doubt. Did Blake read the whole thing? Did he stop halfway because it hurt too much? Did he type a response and delete it? You never know. And not knowing becomes its own heartbreak that doesn't heal. That's why the old footage feels different now when it shows up on your feed. It's not just funny anymore, it's fragile. A reminder that even the strongest bonds can fracture quietly. That laughter doesn't guarantee permanence. That history doesn't protect you from misunderstanding someone you thought you knew completely. Kelly Clarkson's role in this, whether real or exaggerated by fan theories, represents something people recognize. The friend stuck in the middle. The one trying to remind you of who someone used to be while you're focused on who they might be now. That position's lonely in ways people don't talk about. Because if you speak too loud, you look dismissive of pain. If you stay quiet, you feel complicit. And in emotionally charged situations, neutrality can feel like betrayal. So calm voices fade out. Loud ones take over. And suddenly you're making life-changing decisions based on feelings that aren't even yours. That's the danger fans see here, not malice. Influence. When Adam shared that old clip, it wasn't random content. It wasn't engagement bait. It was memory. A moment frozen in time, offered without explanation. Almost like asking a question without typing it. Almost like hoping the right person would see it and recognize what it meant, but silence stayed. Friendships don't always end with explosions. Sometimes they just dissolve. Sometimes they pause so long that restarting feels impossible. You don't know how to reopen a conversation that ended without words. You don't know if you're even welcome to try.
What if they say that you're a climber?
Realizing both people might be hurting in parallel, both convinced, the other moved on. Both waiting for a sign that never comes because neither wants to be vulnerable first. Fans project onto this so hard because they've been there. Sending the message, watching it get read, telling themselves it's fine, it's not a big deal, until it is. Until years pass and that distance hardens into something permanent. There's no villain here. Just timing. Emotion? Perspective. And the quiet damage of misunderstanding. That's why this story lingers, because it asks a question nobody likes facing. How many friendships have you lost, not because of betrayal, but because you trusted the wrong narrative at the wrong moment? How many people do you miss who never actually left, but slowly became strangers while you weren't looking? The golden era of The Voice feels golden because it was simple, before opinions got complicated, before sides formed, before pain came in and messed everything up. And watching those clips now, you can't help but wonder what happened if one more message was sent. Or answered. Or even just acknowledged. Maybe nothing changes. Or maybe everything does. Blake's moved on in obvious ways. He's with Gwen Stefani now, building a different life. They've got their own story. But does that erase what came before? Does new happiness cancel old regret? People close to Blake say he's not the type to hold grudges, but he's also not the type to reopen old wounds just to see if they still bleed. Maybe some doors are meant to stay closed. But it doesn't stop fans from wondering what that conversation would sound like if it happened. What would Adam say? What would Blake say back? Would there be anger, relief, just more silence? The comments under that Instagram post tell you everything. Thousands of people sharing their own stories of friendships that faded, of messages sent and ignored, of regret that sits heavy years later. One person wrote, "I sent my best friend a message like this 3 years ago and she never responded. I think about it every day." Another said, "Sometimes you don't lose people to drama, you lose them to distance, and that hurts worse." He gave language to a type of loss people don't talk about enough. The kind that doesn't make sense to outsiders. The kind where you can't point to a moment and say, "That's when it ended." It just did. And here's what keeps this alive in fan discussions. The possibility, the what if. Because unlike friendships ending in betrayal, this one ended in misunderstanding. And misunderstandings can theoretically be cleared up. Bridges can be rebuilt. That hope, small as it is, keeps people invested. Some fans believe there's still a chance. Kelly hinted in a podcast that doors aren't always locked. Sometimes they're just heavy and nobody wants to push first. Was she talking about Adam and Blake? She didn't confirm it, but the timing was interesting. Because sometimes the hardest thing to admit isn't that someone hurt you. It's that you might have misunderstood them completely. That you might have chosen wrong. That you let other people's pain become your truth without checking. And realizing that too late can cost you someone you never meant to lose. So here's the question that won't leave people alone. Have you ever realized, long after the silence became normal, that you chose the wrong side, that you believed the wrong version, that you let someone go who maybe deserved you fighting harder? And if you did realize it, is it ever too late to say so? Drop your answer in the comments. Because something tells me you've got a story like this too. We all do. And maybe that's why Adam's 4 a.m. message, read and never answered, hits different than regular celebrity drama. It's not about fame. It's about being human. And humans, we mess this up all the time.